Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Mark 85 Iron Man, part of the Avengers Endgame Thor Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Iron Man displayed in the front window with his Build-A-Figure pieces, all of his accessories, and the Nano Gauntlet, and then we get the Avengers Endgame logo down there at the bottom. On the side we have some artwork there of Iron Man pointing his repulsor blast at us, and that is going to be the same on both sides. On the back we get an expanded shot of that artwork, and then we do have the read-up, very basic one. Tony Stark gears up in his highly advanced Mark 85 armor. And then down in the middle there, we do have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Endgame Thor Build-A-Figure. And of course, we have the UPC at the bottom, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Iron Man. And here is Iron Man outside of his packaging, and I'm a little torn with this figure. Overall, I do like the design of the Mark 85 armor. The sculpt is good, the paint is good. However, with this particular figure, the proportions seem a little bit off. Most notably, his legs seem to be a little short for this body. The torso certainly could be too long, but the torso I feel like is very similar in terms of size of what we've seen with the Iron Man figure starting back with like the Civil War era where we started getting the bigger Iron Man figures. So I think the torso is the right size, and I think it's the legs that are too stubby. So that is a bit off-putting at first when looking at him. Now, Iron Man does come with some pretty cool accessories, the first of which we've seen quite a few times. Those are going to be a set of 4 blast effects. The one thing I will say is I do like that even though we're getting the same blast effects, we're getting them in different colors, so you can potentially use them with different figures. These ones coming in sort of a translucent blue. Could even be ice effects maybe for an Iceman figure, but they're not too bad looking as usual. However, they are a bit odd going into the repulsor blast hands as they don't fully port in all the way. So that is odd that they just don't fit in there all the way. He does come with a pair of fisted hands for both left and right, and then he does have those repulsor blast hands as well, and that's going to be all the accessories for Iron Man. And I say that because we also get the Nano Gauntlet for the Smart Hulk Build-A-Figure. So that Nano Gauntlet is going to fit right into the Smart Hulk Build-A-Figure, but it's still kind of weird because that Smart Hulk is in the wrong costume, and he's certainly in the wrong costume for wearing a Nano Gauntlet. So I really wish this would have fit on our Armored Thanos Build-A-Figure instead, and I still wish that Hasbro would get us a proper left arm for that Build-A-Figure, but I digress. And then, of course, he does come with his Build-A-Figure piece for the Endgame Thor. Now, in standing straight up, though, Iron Man is coming in at about 6.5 inches tall, which makes him about 16.5 centimeters. So he is going to be your standard height for a figure. But with that being said, the fact that we already looked at all the accessories and we talked about the Build-A-Figure piece, let's go ahead and just jump in here and get a better look at the rest of this Mark 85 armor on Iron Man. And real quick, I realize I kind of went over the Nano Gauntlet real fast, not really giving you a chance to see it up close and see what those Infinity Stones look like. So I did want to just do that real fast, and they actually look pretty cool, well sculpted. You actually have some details sculpted on there, it looks like. That's actually kind of cool, and the paint came out okay with it as well. So very well done, Nano Gauntlet. It's just unfortunate that it's used in a Hulk figure that doesn't have the right costume. Now, looking at the Iron Man figure, though, so it came out looking decent, like most Iron Man sculpts. However, you can see a little bit of paint missed there on the, I was going to say the lips, but the bottom panel there of the face mask. So a little bit of a miss there, but otherwise, the head sculpt looks pretty decent. It's kind of hard to mess up an Iron Man head sculpt, I think. Looking at the rest of the body, I really do like the smoothness of this figure in terms of, and I shouldn't say the figure, but of the Mark 85. You know, no shoulder pads, doesn't have the big panels on the back of his hands. He has, of course, panel lines throughout, and it looks like the paintwork on those came out pretty decent. So I like that. Yeah, that's good. The arc reactor, yeah, that actually looks pretty accurate there, so not too shabby. And then going down the arms, we can see we have the gold very prominently featured in the upper arms. And then we go down to the open gesture hand. And I say open gesture, but obviously that's also the blaster hand. And then the fist is well sculpted and painted as well. One thing I will mention too, and you can make it work, but that is his arm not going straight. Like, that is literally, so if that's kind of the bicep going straight, that takes a pretty sharp angle upwards there. I noticed I could get the arm to go straight if I really forced it, and you can get a straight arm, but that's literally digging into the plastic there on the forearm. So you can get a straight arm out of that, but you are going to bend and warp that plastic. So, and that was actually the same on both arms. So that wasn't just like a fluke on the one arm. And you can see I actually bent this one a little bit, but yeah, so that is kind of weird that in order to get a straight arm, you have to like warp the plastic on the hand. So that is a bit odd. And then looking at what I was talking about with the legs, like, what do you think? I think they look a little stubby, personally. Yeah, I think they look a little bit stubby. But looking at the gold pattern throughout, or the gold paint, not bad. And actually, that might be molded in gold with silver and red paint. I could be mistaken on that one. But either way, it still looks really good. And a lot of smoothness on the legs. Very few panel lines going down that way. So not bad looking at all. Now, looking at the articulation. So, of course, you have a head that can go side to side. He can look down. He can, trust me. It's just a little stiff. Yeah, he can look down and look up a little bit. And one thing that's kind of interesting with this one is it's not your standard ball peg. It's just a little stalk there, which was kind of interesting, which means you're not going to be able to put a Tony head on this. Like, why do that? You can't put a Tony Stark head on this body without doing something to the head. You have arms that can come up, not too bad. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. Then you do have rotation and hinge on all the wrists. And it's really cool too that, like I said, since we don't have those panel pieces on the back of the hands, we can actually use a hinge on those blaster hands. He does have a diaphragm joint that can go back pretty far, forwards, not so much. Full rotation on it, and you do even get a little bit of side-to-side action there. His legs can come apart actually pretty far there. He can kick forward. Oof. Yeah, not much. What are we hitting there? Yeah, if you kick it off to the side a little bit, maybe. But yeah, not a whole lot of range of motion there. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then he does have a very stiff, it's there, has a stiff hinge and ankle pivot. And that about does it for this review, everyone. So overall, yeah, I'm not overly thrilled with this guy. And in fact, while setting up for this very simple standing up shot, it was very difficult because he just won't stand up for me. His leg joints, or rather his ankle joints, seem to be so stiff that he just doesn't want to stand up. So that was really annoying. I spent like 3 minutes just now trying to get his legs just to support his weight, and he just keeps flopping around. So that's not to say that he isn't imbalanced or anything. You can get him to stand up, obviously. I had him in other poses, but he just was really stiff just now. And then I also didn't see on this leg, when I was going over the closer looks, I had completely overlooked all this horrible paint on this leg. I hope that's coming up. But yeah, I completely overlooked that. So just a little paint snafu, though. Not a big deal. But all in all, getting the Mark 85 armor for the MCU certainly is something that I think a lot of the collectors will want. But I think the execution could have been a little bit better. Most notably, those legs still look too stubby to me. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I on crack, or are they actually stubby? But with that being said, that is going to do it for this review, everyone. Make sure to like this if you actually liked it. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my videos, and have a great day.